After Endgame, the world had changed. Iron Man was dead, Captain America had grown old, Black Widow had sacrificed her life, the Avengers had fallen apart. But when Red Hulk attacked America in the Brave New World movie, the world once again needed the Avengers. But this time, there was no Iron Man, no Thor, no Captain. That's when Valentina formed a new team, a dangerous experiment. Thunderbolts, are they the new Avengers, or just a secret mission meant to control the world? At the start of the story, we see Yelena Belova sitting on top of a tall building. After a while, she jumps off the building, opens her parachute, and enters the next building. There are many people inside, and she starts killing them one by one. After that, she also captures their boss. It was just a day's work for her. After finishing everyone, she talks to someone on the phone and says, "Is the job done?" And behind her, the building also explodes. After that, we see Bucky, who is asking about the attack carried out by Yelena. Actually, Bucky had now entered politics, and he was reassuring everyone that everything was under control. Then we learn that Bucky is brought to court because he was involved in a CIA secret experiment in which humans were being turned into super soldiers. And due to this involvement, he was about to be removed from his post. Valentina, the CIA director, is also present, and she admits that she is running such labs where powerful human experiments are taking place to protect the country. She also says that when their president turned into Red Hulk, there was no Avenger to protect them. That's why she is conducting these experiments. She adds, "The good Avengers we had are either dead or working separately in their own way." Bucky, sitting behind, hears this but says nothing. After this, we see Valentina speaking to Melissa, her personal assistant, and asking her to erase all evidence. Melissa then informs her that one of their labs has been attacked by an unknown agent, and that agent has escaped. Just to remind, Yelena is the same girl who was part of the Red Room, a brutal soldier training program in Russia, where Natasha, Black Widow, was also trained. Then we see Yelena visiting her adoptive father, Shostakov, also known as Red Guardian, a Russian equivalent of Captain America. He raised Natasha and Yelena since childhood, and they respected him deeply. Yelena tells him that she wants to quit this mission. He explains to her that she shouldn't give up, and says if Natasha were alive, she wouldn't have quit. Yelena agrees and decides to take on the next mission. Yelena then tells Valentina that she will no longer stay quiet and follow orders blindly. Valentina agrees and says, "Do this one last mission, and then you can do whatever you want." Valentina explains the mission. There's a warehouse in the mountains, and inside it is one of our labs. One of our own agents, who has the power to become invisible, is trying to steal something from that lab. Your job is to find out what exactly she's trying to steal, and the moment you find out, eliminate her. She also says that the secret of their organization, Oxygroup, must never leave that lab. Yelena enters the lab. There, Yelena finds something and keeps it with her. Moments later, an agent who looks like Captain America attacks her. It's John Walker, the US government's replacement for Steve Rogers. A dangerous fight breaks out between the two. Eventually, John Walker overpowers Yelena and is about to finish her off. Just then, another agent attacks, Antonia Drykov, also known as Taskmaster, who has the ability to mimic any opponent's fighting style. He throws John Walker aside. This agent tells Yelena that he doesn't want to hurt her. A fierce battle begins between them, but John Walker fights back and throws Taskmaster aside as well. Suddenly, the invisible agent enters. It's none other than Ava Starr, aka Ghost, the main villain from Ant-Man and the Wasp. She joins the fight too. Now they all start fighting each other. John Walker begins fighting with Yelena again. Meanwhile, Ghost and Taskmaster are battling each other. Once again, John defeats Yelena and picks up a knife to finish her for good. But just then, Taskmaster defeats Ghost and throws her aside. Taskmaster then turns toward John, ready to end him. Suddenly, Ghost reappears in front of John, shoots him in the head, and ends his game too. At that moment, everyone hears the voice of a man who was hiding behind them. As soon as he tries to escape, all the doors shut tight. The man reveals his name, Bob. Scene shifts to Valentina, who is hosting a high-profile party under the guise of a fundraiser for a government-backed team. Among the guests is Gary, who approaches her and warns, "You know you can't keep running from the law forever." Valentina smirks and replies, "Try all you want, Gary. You'll never catch me." Cut to another part of the party. We see Melissa, Valentina's assistant, standing near an old Avengers insignia mounted on a wall. Bucky walks up behind her. "Feels like the Avengers are just old stories now, don't they?" he says quietly. Melissa turns, startled. "I don't know anything," she says, then walks away. Back in the lab, Yelena starts piecing everything together. "You brought us here to trap us," she says. "You want to bury the evidence with us." Ghost doesn't trust Yelena and vanishes, attempting to escape. But as soon as she touches the lab's exit door, an intense sonic wave spreads through the room. Everyone covers their ears in pain. They can't escape. Cut to Valentina, watching through surveillance. She orders, "Melissa, press the button." Melissa hesitates. "Mom, are you sure?" "Do it!" Melissa presses it. The temperature in the lab begins to spike dangerously. Yelena yells, "We need to shut down the sound barrier." They search for the source device, locate it, and destroy it. The sonic wave ends. Ghost phases through the door and disables the security system. Everyone rushes to escape. Suddenly, flames burst from behind and an explosion knocks them out through the exit. Yelena's eyes open in a strange vision. She's a child again. In front of her stands a younger girl, her first mission. Shostakov, Red Guardian, shoots the girl, then turns to young Yelena and says, "You did well." The memory fades. Yelena wakes up, lying next to her unconscious Bob. She realizes Bob's powers are what showed her that vision. Meanwhile, Melissa informs Valentina, Yelena and the others, they've joined forces, they're forming a team against you. Valentina narrows her eyes. Send the entire strike force, wipe them out. Elsewhere, Shostakov is eavesdropping. He now knows Valentina betrayed them all. Back in the lab, the team surrounds Bob. How did you get here? They ask. I don't know, Bob replies, dazed. John Walker finds an escape tunnel. They follow him out, but realize they're still trapped, deep underground. We have to go up, Bucky says. They start climbing together. Cut to Valentina in her jet, flying toward them. Melissa briefs her. The man we saw in the lab, Bob, he's the one. The only successful subject. Valentina is stunned. That was him. The team reaches the top. Bob is the last one to climb. John Walker reaches down and grabs Bob's hand, but as soon as he touches him, flash, John is transported into a mental vision. He's at home. His child is crying in the background. John is too distracted, reading articles about Captain America on his phone. His wife glares at him and walks away. John realizes he's lost something important. He snaps out of the vision, breathless, and stares at Bob. Who the hell are you? He whispers. The team finally reaches the surface, but outside, an entire army awaits. They retreat back inside to form a plan. Yelena starts explaining what they need to do, but before she can finish, Ghost vanishes. The soldiers begin storming the facility. John Walker hides in a corner, but suddenly runs into a squad of soldiers. He fights them all off and escapes. Another team bursts inside quickly and attacks Yelena and Bob. The two hide, and soon John Walker returns, taking down the entire squad that just entered. They all disguise themselves in soldier uniforms and start slipping out. Ghost also rejoins them and leaves with the group. As they're driving away in a military truck, one soldier stops them, asking for their names. Just when they're completely stuck, Bob steps out of the vehicle and starts firing shots in the air. All the soldiers get distracted and open fire in response. Valentina screams at them to stop, but no one listens. When the bullets stop flying, everyone is shocked. Bob is totally unharmed and floating in the air. Bob is stunned, seeing his new powers for the first time. Valentina and Mel are equally shocked, realizing the super soldier they created is far beyond expectations. When bullets start flying again, Bob shoots higher into the sky, piercing through clouds with ease. But it's too much for him. His body gives out, and he starts falling. Everyone, including Yelena, watches in horror as he plummets to the ground and crashes with a massive explosion. The entire area shakes. Yelena tells the team that Bob is no longer a normal man. He's Ox's ultimate creation, a super weapon named Sentry, with the power of 1,000 suns. Meanwhile, Valentina boards a jet with Bob, heading to New York. She tells Mel to find Yelena and the others and eliminate them. Cut to Yelena and the group, waiting as a large armored vehicle arrives. Driving it is none other than her so-called godfather, Shostakovich. He picks them up and they drive away. 3 massive Oxa vehicles chase them. Ghost turns invisible and tries to throw them off, but the enemy has sound-based weapons, rendering her powers useless. Suddenly, someone starts blowing up the enemy vehicles from behind. As the smoke clears, they see it's Bucky. Everyone cheers. He takes out all the vehicles, but just as the tension lifts, they realize there's a bomb under Yelena's truck. It explodes, flipping the vehicle. Cut to Bob, who's regained consciousness. Valentina sits beside him, whispering that he's the savior of this world. She brings up memories from his past, leaving him emotionally shaken. Lights flicker all around them. As she speaks, she holds his hand, and they're both pulled into a strange vision. There, Valentina sees a little girl watching her father open a door. A man shoots him after a short conversation. Valentina pulls herself out of the vision and walks away quietly. Back with Bucky, we see he's captured all the Thunderbolts. But then he gets a call from Mel, who warns him about Bob and begs him to stop Valentina. The Thunderbolts offer to help. Bucky releases them. Mel rushes outside to make the call, but Valentina overhears everything. She tells Mel to stay away from this mess and walks off coldly. Later, the Thunderbolts regroup. Bucky says they need to stop Valentina, no matter what. They crash their truck into a building. Inside, they fight through armed guards. Suddenly, Valentina's voice echoes from above. She says she's been waiting and invites them up. There, Valentina proudly announces she's created a new superhero, more powerful than any Avenger. His name is Sentry. She declares that now, America's safety will only exist through her control. Bucky loses his cool and tries to arrest her, but Bob uses his powers to shield Valentina. Then Bob descends from above. Valentina smirks and says, "Soon the media will be here, and when they see you all defeated, they'll believe I was right all along." Yelena pleads with Bob, but he doesn't listen. Suddenly, the team attacks. First up is Red Guardian, Shostakovich, but Bob casually throws him across the room. Then the rest of the Thunderbolts charge. Bob hurls them away with ease. Bucky rains bullets on him, but Bob freezes them mid-air and sends them flying back. Red Guardian tries again, but Bob tosses him around like a rag doll, controlled with a flick of his fingers. Then he brutally beats down John Walker and shrugs off every attack. Even Ghost's invisibility doesn't help. He grabs her and Walker, throwing them far. Finally, Bucky gives it everything he has, but Bob rips off his cybernetic arm and tosses it aside. With no choice left, the Thunderbolts are forced to retreat. Valentina tells Bob to end his game, but he refuses to obey her command. This surprises Valentina. Below, everyone is fighting and separating. Meanwhile, Bob is arguing with Valentina above, saying that all of this is wrong and a fight breaks out between them. Bob is about to kill Valentina. At this moment, Mel secretly presses a button to knock Bob unconscious for a while. Valentina, along with Mel, goes downstairs, and we see that Bob has regained consciousness. He wasn't dead, and his color has completely turned black, indicating that he has changed. Later, when Valentina and the others come out, they see Bob standing before them, filled with rage. All the soldiers attack Bob, but this time Bob shows no mercy and starts turning them all into dust. Everywhere, chaos starts to spread. The Thunderbolts below begin helping everyone. Red Guardian saves a few people, and Yelena saves a child from an oncoming car. The car is about to crush an old woman, but Bucky steps in front of the car and saves her. Then, a large stone is about to crush another woman, but the Thunderbolts work together to remove the stone and save her life. As everyone watches the Thunderbolts' bravery, they start clapping for them. Another stone begins falling toward a small girl, but Red Guardian saves her, and as the girl touches the ground, she turns into dust. In a flash, many of the people standing around them start turning into dust as well. The Thunderbolts do their best to save as many people as they can, but Yelena isn't afraid of the darkness around her. Valentina decides to enter the darkness, and Sentry speaks to Yelena, saying that she always talked about emptiness inside her, and now this emptiness is the very thing she is running away from. She merges into this darkness. After this, she is transported to another world, where she sees the same little girl whose father had killed him in front of her eyes. Yelena tries to run away from this moment, but cannot. After several attempts, she breaks through and arrives in a place where she sees how she was tortured as a child. She destroys that place as well, and reaches another area, where she sees herself sleeping. Bob is sitting there as well. Yelena says she wants to talk to him privately, and Bob asks her what's going on. Yelena tells him that she knows why he is showing her all this, all the things that happened to her, and she says that Bob is just like her. She tries to explain to him to stop all this, but Bob says he's not doing it, that it's just like the emptiness inside him, something he cannot control. Yelena says, "We cannot ignore the things inside us, but we can release them from our hearts and find peace," and she tells him to come out of this place. A while later, everything starts flying around them, and they are almost killed, but the Thunderbolts arrive just in time to save them. Yelena asks how the Thunderbolts could fight their past, and they reply that they trusted themselves and worked together as a team, which is why they were able to come and help her. Yelena asks how they would escape, and they reply, "There are more dangerous doors ahead, and we'll have to face the ugly truths of our past, but we will face them together." And so they start moving forward through different doors, fighting their bad thoughts along the way. As they advance, more troubling thoughts appear, threatening to damage them. They keep fighting and finally reach the place where everything began, the place where Bob was experimented on by Oxer. Bob says he went through tough times, got addicted to drugs, and suffered seizures. But the Oxer group promised to fix him, gave him a drug, and experimented on him. And that's how he became what he is now. Sentry also arrives and says, "Bob, you're nothing. You have no worth." He sends the Thunderbolts flying and captures Bob. He tells Bob that he's just a defeated human being. Bob responds, saying that he's stronger than Sentry. In fact, Sentry is nothing but the worst of his thoughts. Bob gathers courage and begins fighting Sentry, but Sentry starts beating him badly. He says, "You will always be alone." He continues sending the Thunderbolts far away. Bob throws Sentry down and starts beating him, but Sentry laughs, unaffected by the attacks. In the meantime, Yelena breaks free and rushes to Bob, embracing him. Bob is still fighting Sentry and says, "You will always be alone," but Yelena reassures him, "You're not alone." Soon, the other Thunderbolts join them and embrace Bob, showing him that he's not alone. With the support of his friends, Bob overcomes his loneliness, defeats Sentry, and the darkness in the outside world fades away. Everything returns to normal. The Thunderbolts thank Bob, but Bob says he doesn't remember anything and is unsure what they're talking about. His memory is gone. This leaves everyone astonished. Then they see Valentina, who has tricked the media into thinking she's taking them to America's New Avengers, forcing the Thunderbolts to become Avengers. And with that, the episode ends. If you're also an Avengers fan and want to know what happens next in the Avengers future, stay with us and subscribe. We'll meet in the next video. Until then, take care.